Hello, mamas. As you know, evil reinvents itself and never stays the same. However, one of the infinite and immortal forms of evil is an insecure person. That may sound harsh, but let me refresh your memory. You might remember, like, say, 10 years ago, there being a certain archetype of person where they'd walk down the street and they'd see, like, a garbage can and they'd say, "Up! That's me. I'm trash. I'm literally trash. I'm literally trash. I'm literally trash." And then they like look around for like a laugh. The type of person that is like extremely self-deprecative, and like beyond humor. Like I'm not talking. There's a lot of things I'm going to say in the next 30 to 45 minutes that are going to like maybe sound like they apply to you, but probably don't because they're just symptoms. I'm not talking about people who feel insecurity today, or make the offhanded like, "I suck, I'm nothing, I'm worthless." But I'm talking about the people who become that, who become insecure people, who adopt it as their personality. I will speak from experience, firsthand and secondhand, because I've spent a large chunk of my life insecure and a large chunk of my life surrounded by insecure people. No longer as well, listen, I'm not doing an ego check of every single person I know to like figure out if they're insecure or not, but I know for pretty certain that no one in my life now is like the type of people that thrive off of being insecure people. So why are they demonic? Why are they demonic and why are they evil and why are they I want you to look at it this way. On the left hand, we have insecure people who are constantly thinking about themselves because they are insecure. They're scared of how they are being presented and how other people are thinking about them. And on the right hand, we have narcissistic people who are also always thinking about themselves and how they are being presented. But it's because they like themselves so much, because they want like their personality to shine through every door that they walk through. And I've teared narcissistic people a new one in this podcast before, and so they've gotten their lashes, but I feel like I need to swing the pendulum to the other side because we also sometimes forget how harmful some insecure people can be. And all of this is just food for thought, okay? If you find yourself being an insecure person, 99.9% of the time, you just happen to be. When I was like deeply insecure, okay, like I'm not speaking from like an extremely high ego point of my life either. Like when the front camera opens, I duck like someone is shooting a shotgun at me. So there's that too. But you know what? We're gonna check it off, and that's my one self-deprecative joke I'm gonna make for the whole podcast. But just to, I know like you're probably gonna assume if I'm talking about insecure people that I'm coming from the exact opposite side of the spectrum. No. I know I am nothing. Okay, let's leave it at that. So we give like insecure people a break and a pass all the time because it tugs at your heartstrings when you see someone that you know hates themselves. Like that's like it truly is at the end of the day just like sad. It's so sad that someone could hate themselves because it's like that's your only life, motherfucker. You got nothing else. Like you're gonna hate yourself in this life and then die and then be dirt. Like no. You have to love yourself. So I feel like insecure people get like a little bit of pity, and maybe it's like rightfully so because like, well, this is your life. Like, fuck it, bro. It's your life. As that guy said to the random child with like the interesting haircut in that one video that I'm going to try and clip, and I'm going to forget to insert the clip. So you're just going to have to go off my shitty description.
I'll be crying if I look like that too, bro. That's fucked up what they be doing to y'all. I ain't even going to hold you, bro. I be saying that's fucked up. Like, bro, you probably had the full washing set. You should be fired probably if they ain't cut your shit. Fuck it though, bro. It's your life.
But I feel like a lot of the time, the pass that insecure people get, kind of, is a shield for the negative effect that being around insecure people can have. I will give an example of when I was insecure, and then I'm going to give an example of one insecure friend I had in like high school. And mind you, the example I gave about like people pointing to like garbage cans and being like, I'm trash, I'm that, like, okay, so my finger just looks like it's like 12 inches long when I put it in the side of the fisheye camera. Sorry, that just freaked me the fuck out. You know, like, as I said, evil reinvents itself, and I don't interact with that many like outwardly insecure people anymore, so I don't know like what the new version of that is, like what the new version of being like, I'm trash, I'm nothing. So like, please, like, let me know, school me, comment down below like what the new version of that is. But chances are, like, especially now in you know, these new times of Gen Z and Gen Alpha, like, we're not a particularly confident generation, and it's like there's a lot more brownie points if you can be like nonchalant. And I think like in that's like a similar vein to being like self-deprecative. So I feel like my hunch is that there are more insecure people now, because like to be braggadocious in today's times, in today's like, it's not in vogue. But anyways, let me speak from experience. So I like used to have this friend who, like, this is like, we're talking like the furthest fucking extreme of like insecurity, like absolutely like barely wanted to be living, and wanted to like had probably zero self-worth. Like if you gave them like a little form and you had to like put on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love yourself, they'd be like 0.1, motherfucker, kill me. Like not the happiest camper. Nevertheless, was like best friends with this person, and also was in a friend group with like also somewhat insecure people, but like no one was like at this level. Like we're talking like I would receive like a text every single day at school saying like, do you like me? Or does let's call them Bobby, Petunia, and Julia. Does Bobby, Petunia, and Julia hate me? Like literally getting those texts every single day. And like I think I'm a people pleaser. I like pleasing the people, and even if it's at like the detriment of myself. But I would like always reply like, no. Let's call her Janice. I'd be like, Janice, you are best friend, and we all love you so much. And like for the first like few months, and this behavior, like this was like one of those like friends where like we became friends like very fast at the start of high school, like kind of like a trauma bond. It's like we got no one else, so fuck it, like this will be the group for the next 3 years kind of thing. Like it wasn't like childhood best friend, or they like grew into becoming like an insecure person. Like I always knew them this way, but I slowly, as I peeled back the layers of the onion, of the insecure onion, I realized, oh, the onion's a little rotten. So at first, like it was nothing but pity and like wanting to like be there for this person. Like I would like bend over backwards to be like, to like be comforting over text and be like listen, you are the light of the life. You are the light of the life, and everyone love you, and never forget it. And no one hates you. No one ever have beef with you, ever, like ever type of thing. But like it was relentless, and I think it was until much later that I realized it was like a feedback loop, where I realized like the more I fed into that kind of like affirmation circuit, it only grew stronger. And I feel like Janice became dependent on like getting those affirmations, and like without them it would be like devastating. Like to ask like, do you guys hate me, and not receive a reply would actually like send Janice spiraling. So I started to have flashes and visions about how insecure people operate, and I was like, oh, so that's your life. Now, mind you, I probably through a good chunk of like probably high school to like until I dropped out of college, like had very little self-worth, like didn't fucking like my life, didn't like much about me, and I probably like exuded insecurity in a lot of ways. Now, once again, let me make the distinction. Like most people, and probably all healthy people, are insecure in certain ways, feel insecure about certain things. However, it's once again completely different to be an insecure person where you're like completely reliant and dependent on other people's validations and you're only ever thinking about yourself. And that leads to harm of the people around you. But I'd say that I was like teetering on like being like largely insecure and like actually just like being an insecure person. I distinctly remember like every single day like friggin' like any room I would walk into, anytime I was like talking to someone new, like it would be like BPM of my heart would be like 160 and be like, oh my god, what are they gonna think about me, what are they gonna think of me, do they like me, they hate me, they all fucking hate me. And it like completely, it gave me like tunnel vision. Like I could literally only see this. And I couldn't even be bothered to think about like other people around me. Because like when you're in that mindset and you're so like focused on yourself, like how could you possibly even begin? Well, there's what is it called? Like the missing person syndrome. No, not that. What the fuck is it? It's like some theory that any room you walk into, it doesn't matter how you act because like most people are probably thinking about themselves. And even in conversations, I really enjoy this because like I'm not the best, especially talking to like new people, just like in a group conversation setting or like when meeting new people, I tend to like freeze up and like just like make a fool of myself. So like I realize that like if you just let other people talk, whether it be driven by like insecurity or narcissism, people will just talk about themselves. And I enjoy it. I enjoy because a lot of time they will just dish out like tea or friggin' fun little tidbits or like info, like stuff that you would typically like want to ask about, but then they just tell you anyway. So like you could just like let people talk and they will talk. But oh, and my light died. Cool. Okay, yeah, you're my therapist now, and I'm on the couch. And listen, I don't know if I like realized that back then, like at that age, that like most people just actually don't give a fuck, and like statistically, you have nothing to be insecure about, because like most of the things that you are insecure about, people A, don't even know exist or notice, and B, don't fucking care about, even if they do notice it. Like if you're like my big old nose and ears that I want to chop off my head. People don't give a fuck. And recently I've been thinking about like when people like meet me for the first time, like they have no idea about anything that I'm insecure about in my life. Like they literally, unless I don't even know. And then so that's like making me freak out now. Like maybe there's an insecurity. See, that's an actual fear of mine, is like having an insecurity that like is to be discovered that I don't know about yet, that will one day reveal itself from someone else. That's happened a few times. Where like someone said something and it became, I remember. I like, when I did my looks maxing video, and like I posted like a friggin' like thirst trap picture, like with the masculine filter, like that gives you like a beard and stuff, on like my story to like promote the video, because you know, got a thirst trap to promote fucking YouTube videos, because that's where the career is at now. But like I was like, my back was like kind of arched a little bit, so it looked like I had like a little belly, and the amount of fucking DMs I got, people be like, not the beer belly popping out. So yeah, for a few months I literally thought I was the fattest person alive, the biggest person alive, even though I knew I wasn't, even though I was like also in a place where I was like loving how the body is looking, loving my own body that I'm in on this earth, and then thinking that I have a big fucking gut just hanging off, when like anyways. But yeah, back then definitely didn't like realize that like no one's thinking about you for the most part unless it's like a deep friend. And here's the thing, no one is like strangers and like acquaintances and like people you're meeting aren't really thinking about you in any like meaningful or like judging way beyond like a fleeting like, oh, their shirt's weird or something like that. And the people that actually care about you, that are thinking about you, probably love you and aren't would never like think anything bad about you. They're only like looking at you with love. So like statistically, you have nothing to be fucking insecure about. So know that. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that awesome? However, I just remember like being in the mindset of like feeling like a big fucking gob of snot, just like walking around in every room and in everyone, like as if I had a giant like eggy odor that followed me into every room. Actually, you know what? There was like a year I feel like where before I discovered deodorant, where I feel like I had like puberty musk for like a whole year and was definitely actually like physically stinky. But no, so I'm coming at you with love as I talk about how insecure people are the devil, because I was once one. And I've also been thinking about how, you know, there's a common human trope where like people will like free themselves of an affliction and then like close the door behind them and like hate everyone else that has to go through that, even though they should like have the empathy to like understand why someone goes through that. But so like I'm not trying to exude that. I'm not trying to like be like, I bottled up my insecurity, so should you, motherfucker, kill yourself. Like, it's not trying to do that. Coming at you with love. However, I think that it gets buried. It does get buried, how insecure people can harm. Okay, so let's get into how they can be harmful. In that example that I gave about like the friend that I had, Janice, who like was so overtly insecure that it was like a burden. Here's the thing. I wish everything could be like sunshine and rainbows, and that like people and friends would never be a burden, because like that's how you have to operate in life. Like you can never make someone in your life feel like a burden, even if they are, which will happen many times, many such cases of like friends being a burden. And I think, you know, there's so much like emphasis that we place on, okay, this is coming from someone that's never done fucking therapy ever, that has a podcast instead. Hello. But there's so much emphasis on like just like throwing people away to the side and like forcing them to do, or not forcing them, but like making them do therapy instead of just having like communal like help and like having a community and like friends that can like help each other through things, versus like having to pay like a trained professional $250 to like hear what you're going through. Like I've always found it a little, I found like at least American society a little bit too reliant on things like that, when I feel like so many issues could be helped through like good community and good friends, and being freaking there for each other. And so like I think that like in your friendships and interpersonal relationships, like you should be taking on a burden from people. Like it should be give and take. Like you give some of your burden, you take some of theirs, you work through it together, and it's beautiful. However, that works with people who feel insecurities, but sometimes not for people who are themselves deeply insecure people, and like that's their bread and butter. So I'm not saying like dump them on the side of the road and leave them on the freeway. Like I'm not saying that, but there is I found myself with Janice. I found myself at a limit. Like I'd say it was maybe like a couple. And my iPad has low battery. I'd say it was like a couple years into the friendship where I was like, oh, what is this weight over me? What is this weight over me every time we have to hang out with Janice? Like, I thought Janice was friend in my head, but Janice is actually stressing me the fuck out! Because Janice can't figure out if everyone hates her, which she made everyone fucking hate her, because she kept asking people if they hate her. So our whole kind of friend group kind of came to like a realization, like, oh fuck, like, what do we do? What do we do about Janice? Because Janice is freaking us all out, and can't help herself, and it all stems from a deep insecurity, and she is like projecting all her fears onto us. And what the fuck do we do now? And what ended up happening is it kind of like we like distance ourselves from Janice, and that felt like the scariest thing in the world, because we were like, is she gonna be good? And we were like, obviously we weren't like kicking her to the side of the road, but it was like, we've tried to be there for you, homegirl, but like you go talk to like the school counselor or something. You see, here I am being like, okay, actually, I don't even want to fucking hear if you've had a bad day, go to therapy. But actually, that ended up working, because I think that insecurity stemmed from like, am I breaking HIPAA by saying this? Well, I give a fake name, so who the fuck cares? Like Janice was able to like deconstruct with a professional, like how, like why she was feeling that way, and like what led her to have zero self-worth, and also like I think got on like a med or something, got on a med. That sounds weird. Got on meds. There we go. So like, not saying that every single like person that is insecure is like, it is like because they have some like mental illness or something. Sometimes it's like literally just it's like how they were raised. It could be like a traumatic childhood, something like that. It could be any number of things. I feel like a good chunk of like insecure people, it comes from like childhood. I feel like most insecurities come from childhood, except for the new ones that I get every day by being online and showing my face. Now, I want to say that like where I differ from like all this like recent discourse about insecure people that I've been like seeing online is a lot of people talk about it as if it is like actually an identity, and as if it's like an incurable disease. And I'd say probably for a lot of people, it is probably the hardest thing in the world to get over, like being insecure, to like gain confidence. Because sometimes like, where the fuck do you even get that? You can't go to the confidence store and pick up a little bag of fucking confidence and just insert into your own. Like that doesn't exist. And it's like a long journey. And like for me, it took a lot of time to stop thinking like I'm giant fucking gobbledygob monster walking into like a social situation or something. Like it is a battle, but I feel like there is a difference between people who are insecure and like working to be less insecure, and people who kind of relish in it, and stew in it, and like they enjoy the pity that they receive from being insecure and knowing that people know, if my iPad says 10% remaining one more fucking time. They like when people know that they are hating themselves, which sounds crazy because it's like, who the fuck would do that? But those people do exist. So let's snap out of it. And I kind of experienced like trial by fire when, I became an adult. And especially like I went from pretty much like I didn't have like a single friend when I was in college. Like I was hating it, probably like the most insecure I had ever been, to like a few months later I like when my like TikTok started like blowing up, and I like went to LA and was like at like Playlist Live and shit, and having to do like a 180 flip into like, I think I like put a band-aid on it for a while, like back then, to like temporarily just like pretend like I was the coolest person. I felt like it. I had like 100,000 subscribers or followers on TikTok, and I was like, I'm literally famous, and probably like bordered closer to like the narcissist side of things. But it was at least enough to like not be like constantly thinking about my insecurities. And I realized, and so like it kind of like tapered off around like 2020 or 2021, I'd say. But like I started to like get into situations where the general kind of social contract, being an adult and being in like adult spaces, is to kind of have your shit together. Obviously everyone has their bad days, and I wish society was like a little bit more comforting to what people go through. And it's crazy how like if you work a job, like you get like 2 mental health days, which like most people end up having to use like if they're sick or like need like an oil change. So realistically it's 0. Like we're a very callous society to like like mental health. But like I realized as an adult that like even places that are like we are safe space for mental health, like at the end of the day, especially in like places like a job, where like the focus is to like make money, like there is a very little tolerance for not having your shit together. And one of the things that could apply to is being an insecure person. Like you can't be you can't be like at your job saying like, Mr. Boss, do you hate me? Do you guys like me? Am I cool? Am I funny? Are we friends? Do you like me? You hate me. You hate me, I think. You want me dead, right? You want me dead. You want to put a gun in my mouth and pull the trigger. Bam, bam, bam. Like you can't do that at the Home Depot Incorporated. They will fire you. So how do you get your confidence? How do you get it? What makes you so confident? One time I was with friends and we were walking through like the Soho area, and like we had just finished talking about like how funny it would be to like run, like they were visiting from out of town, and we were like, it'd be so fucking funny if we saw that guy. And literally minutes later, like clockwork, we hear out the corner of our ear, "You're confident. What makes you confident?" And it was the guy. But we were all like too like starstruck that we kept walking, like, oh my God. But he went up to them and not me. What does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? Overall, like it's not, there's worse things you could be. Duh. Like you could, like it's not like people who are insecure. Okay, I know I literally started this by saying like, they're the devil. Hey, can Asian get hyperbolic for a second? But it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant to be around insecure people, specifically the ones that are like feeding off of pity towards them. It's, I think most people enjoy being able to take other people's burdens and be there for them. But I think when that gets like over, when you overstay your welcome with that as an insecure person, this is not going to end well. So do like fucking figure it out. Like do a sit up if you feel, do a squat if your insecurity is that your ass is flat as a fucking board like mine is. Do a squat. No, actually I was at the gym with my girlfriend and I like refuse to do squats. Like I forgot that that's something that people do at the gym, and I refuse to do it because I don't care about my ass. I don't care about my ass more than like just if it's comfy enough to sit, and it is. Thank you. I don't want bubble butt, and for some whatever goddamn reason it is, there's so many dudes at my gym with fucking BBLs. It's like whoa. And I think I almost have like a reverse desire for a I wish I could get like a butt. I guess it'd just be like a liposuction. Like what's like a butt reduction. Well, I feel like I'm losing my. Side note: when I going to Coachella a few weeks ago, there was like a billboard for like the Diplo set, and it said, "Hey, little mama, come shake that little Ozempic ass," and it made me want to take the wheel and crash it into a cactus. I can't begin to even like talk about Ozempic. That's a whole other can of worms. Let me rank my insecurities from top to bottom. Let's see. Definitely top one for either that was like end of last year or this year was when people said your gut's hanging out multiple times. That definitely was an all-timer for me. Okay, actually, no, I'm not going to expand on beyond that because the worst thing, and here, if for everyone, this applies for everyone, the worst thing you can do is tell someone about your insecurities, because God forbid y'all ever get in an argument. What the fuck are they loading into their chamber? They're going to say, oh, What about that snaggletooth in your fucking mouth? But actually, be open with people. Be open with people about your insecurities to an extent, and say, one day on this podcast, I'm going to have something to talk about where it's not like do this, but also do this, but also be aware of this, but also don't do too much of this. And I'll just have straight advice for you. But until then, but that's life, baby. Life is fucking nuance. And life is about saying things that sound like they disagree with another thing you say, but it actually just all makes sense when you piece it all together and bake it into the fucking pie. Follow the podcast Instagram, please, at Drama Mama. Ooh. Okay, there's something just out of frame that is an Easter egg to what is going to happen to the podcast soon. And by soon, I've been saying soon for the past few months, but it could be more months. It could be more months because everything in my life is running behind right now. But once it catches up, we'll be so back. Ben of the Week will be on top of the whole media sphere and ecosystem. Anyways, thanks for listening. Hope I wasn't too harsh on any of y'all, but hopefully it was tough medicine for you to hear, or strong medicine, needed medicine. What the strong? Whatever. Bye.